No sketches in this one. I'm busy. The music's different because my computer died and I couldn't find the old theme song on short notice. BMC Theatre videos are a mixed bag on this channel. Every time I post one, I get comments groaning, "My God, why are you doing this crap?" and comments who love following BMC's exploits like an ongoing saga or some life's journey. It's worth mentioning that BMC does have real games in the pipeline. I've made online kinda friends with someone named Caffeine Meme who's been hired by BMC to add actual gameplay to some of their upcoming games. He's currently working on Dabman 3 and Zombie Tatoes 2, and Elena started a Patreon page to boost the budget and quality of their games. But until then, yeah, we've got another cutscene game. This is Unsubscribed, actually based on a suggestion that I gave them on Twitter to spoof a found footage horror film. You know what they say? Careful what you wish for. The game specifically is a spoof of the movie Unfriended, a movie that takes place entirely over Skype as some teenagers are killed by a ghost as revenge for cyberbullying that drove her to suicide. The film's main characters are all profoundly unlikable, partly so you enjoy watching them die, and partly as commentary on what insufferable, entitled, narcissistic bastards Gen X teenagers can be. On that note, our main characters in Unsubscribed are Steve and his 3 annoying-ass friends called Dio, Yoda, and Ferguson, who shoot the shit and be annoying for a while.
You have to fuck yourself now.
It's the law of no you.
Fucking hell. Why does Dio even stand for anyway?
It's none of your business.
I find it amusing that Steve's friends are sorted left to right by annoyance. Dio is actually kind of likable, Yoda is an irritating moron, and Ferguson you want to see get hit by a truck. Listening to teenage dipshits meme at one another should be one of the most annoying things in existence, but they do actually get a pretty good line every now and then.
Oh mein Gott, you are all so retarded.
Okay, for that I'll excuse how painfully obvious it is that the actors recorded their scenes separately and avoid to be edited together afterwards, because there are frequent cuts and none of them seem to react to one another. And then Ferguson starts jacking off in the middle of the chat. Really tempted to revoke that credit I just gave them. The first choice in the game comes when Dio and Yoda get into an argument, because Yoda says that Steve's brother is bacon, and Dio says that he likes the food bacon, and then they argue that he's a pedophile, and the sad thing is I can't even bitch this dialogue is unrealistic after all the stupid shit I hear kids chat at the pool's locker room.
I just want to know if I'm a pedophile.
I'm pretty sure you are a pedophile. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
You advance the game by having Steve yell at all his friends to shut up.
Yep.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh dear, Dio's webcam feed stalled out as a single static image. Eventually, the game gets to having a point. Steve's brother Timmy has started a YouTube channel and he asks his friends to subscribe to it. They refuse and you hit another choice where you can either pay Ferguson $100 to subscribe or tell him that his mom is gay. Paying him off is how you advance the game.
What the fuck? I want $100 too.
Me too. It's unfair.
You motherfucker.
Stop bringing up the fact that I have sex with your mom. It's just weird. Only call me daddy when you are ready.
Okay. Daddy.
Okay, you got me on that one.
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
The friends subscribed to Timmy's channel, but it turns out somebody didn't subscribe. This pisses off Timmy something fierce and he threatens to kill them.
One of you is not subscribed, and he seems really, really angry.
Rightfully deciding that Timmy is kind of insane, Yoda unsubscribes, and Yoda appears to die, dragged off screen by some obscene force.
Too late, lol.
Yoda must have been really friggin' depressed because he grins and smiles like a jackass while he's being brutally murdered. It turns out Timmy is actually a demon who really does have the power to murder the entire group if they don't subscribe to his channel.
My brother is kind of actually a demon.
What the
I
fuck?
just didn't
What
want
the
to
fuck?
scare you, but
What the
if we
fuck?
don't all
What the fuck?
subscribe,
What the
it's
fuck?
kind
What
of
the
going
fuck?
to
What the
happen
fuck?
to all
What
of
the
us.
One would think Steve would have opened with that bit of slightly relevant information. You can't even pin this on following the movie. Steve's just a dumbass. At this point, you get to choose which of the three didn't subscribe, and I choose Ferguson because I want him to die as painfully as possible. Ferguson reveals he didn't subscribe despite being paid $100 because he thought he could hold out for $200, and he still refuses to subscribe unless he's paid, even though it means they'll all die.
I gave you all the money I had.
Then we will all die.
Holy shit.
And you can't really criticize this as being dumb, because the characters in Unfriended really are this stupid and petty. Ferguson is the first to die. He just kind of seems to get choked to death by someone invisible.
Something's choking me. Something's choking me.
Oh sure, the characters in Unfriended get stabbed in the eye, mutilated by blender blades, or choke on hot curling irons, but Sir Douche-a-lot just gets force choked. You have robbed me of this! And before the likable characters bite it, they take a few minutes to shill BMC's other games.
We should use the time we have left to have some fun, I suppose. Do you want to play real-life Battle Royale on Steam? Maybe the Jacuzzi or Cumulator? All available on Steam.
And then they call each other out for shilling BMC's games, which actually cracked me up.
Promoting weird games like that? How much did BMC pay you?
He didn't pay me. It's just that I really love these amazing games with low prices on the Steam store.
And then they go on about how you should totally alt-tab out of the game to leave a positive review. Enough already, I get the point!
If I was playing a game called Unsubscribe, I would go leave a positive review right now.
Oh, that is a good idea.
I think a really good self-deprecating bit here would have been to have the characters accept that they're going to die, and they opt to play BMC games so that getting killed off doesn't seem so bad. And then the sales line could have been, BMC, they'll make you welcome the sweet release of death.
Anyway, let's go back to us being killed.
Oh, thank crap. Steve has a heart attack, and Dio, I think he gets snapped by Thanos.
Oh. I don't feel so good.
Ha! A reference that didn't make me cringe. Well done. So with all our protagonists dead, it cuts to Elaine in a kitchen, where he plays Timmy doing a cooking show on his YouTube channel. And I swear to crap I'm not kidding, we watch Elaine cook cartoonishly inedible food for 16 and a half minutes.
Hello, and welcome to the best cooking show in the world. Today we're going to be cooking something. I'm Timmy, and this is my YouTube channel.
Elaine prepares two dishes, a platter of chips, peanuts, and a frozen banana with sauce over them, and a bowl of macaroni and cheese with chips and what appears to be a raw frozen pork chop thrown into it. And they go all the way with this. We watch him get the ingredients out, we watch them mix ingredients, we watch him prepare a cooking sheet, stick the food in the oven, and then he prepares the second dish and mixes and cooks that. Yeah, I'm starting to get a sense for why your friends opted to kill themselves rather than subscribe to these videos.
We're going to add some salt.
Strange thing is, this whole bit is actually a pretty effective spoof of a cooking show. It's shot and cut together exactly like those cooking shows that my dad watches all the time because he's retired and perpetually bored off his ass. Like a cooking show, but if you gave it to a teenager who had absolutely no idea what he was doing, but he'd be damned if he let on about that. Elaine doesn't crack once throughout this entire sketch, in contrast to other BMC productions where the entire cast cracks up through every single bit. He remains completely deadpan and stoic to sell this sketch. Plus, the camera keeps zooming and panning so it doesn't get boring to look at, and there are some pretty decent jokes spread throughout.
This is the first meal. We're not going to eat it yet, because I don't want to die.
And then he gets a live feed of mixing what looks like raw sewage, and he's still trying to sound like he's a legit chef selling how good it tastes. Eventually, I just start laughing at the absurd, I can't believe I'm still watching this of the situation. What's funny is the macaroni and cheese dish actually sticks to the bowl, and I can't tell if it's a separate pop or if it actually did that on accident, because Elaine seems genuinely surprised at the bowl, but he still doesn't break character. And then it comes time to actually taste his unholy abominations of dishes. Yeah, I don't want to know what that tastes like.
No, that's what I call delicious. Let's go to the other room.
I like how he only seems to figure out at the end of the sketch that you're supposed to crack open peanuts to eat them instead of horking down the shell included.
Timmy's cooking show is over. Steve, can you ask your friend to subscribe to my channel, please?
Huh? Oh, right, parody of Unfriended, horror game. I honestly forgot. Okay, now I just need to play back through the game and see all the cutscenes that I missed.
Some kind of retard, obviously.
Saying that isn't
Yeah, I don't need to see this again, so
Why do you
skip.
guys have such cancerous
Skip.
names?
Skip, damn you!
gay license in you.
You can't skip the game's cutscenes. So if you want to go back through and see the bits that you missed, then you have to sit through about 5 minutes of the opening crap before you get to the first choice. That kinda sucks. If you decline to intervene in Dio and Yoda being imbeciles or call Ferguson's mom gay, things escalate until a member of the group kills themselves and the game ends early. It's actually set up to where it's a decent alternate ending instead of feeling like a cheap game over, but I just have to wonder what kind of hell the life of a BMC character must be if they commit suicide at the slightest provocation. And cue the obvious jokes of if you were living in a BMC game you would want to die too. One of the game's cutscenes changes a little bit if you pick a different person who didn't subscribe. My man Dio couldn't subscribe because his YouTube channel is locked. Again, something you'd think would have been prudent to mention. But the remaining deaths, BMC shilling, and cooking show sketch seem to be unaffected. I kinda Control-Alt-Delete it out of them because there's no in-game way to skip the 16.5-minute cooking sketch at the end. You know, to fit with the game's theme, you'd think there would be a way to skip the cooking show sketch, but then you'd get a bad ending where Timmy kills you for skipping over it. Oh well, just a suggestion. You know, I kinda like this one. It's barely a game since it's only really 3 choices and one of which doesn't affect the plot at all across 25 minutes of cutscenes, but it's got some decent jokes. It's a decent parody of Unfriended. The cooking show sketch is surprisingly well done and shows some development of Elaine as an actor and a director, and I actually got a fair number of laughs out of it. This is probably the thinnest excuse yet to post a YouTube video on Steam, but hell, at least the sketches are kinda funny this time. The only real glaring technical issues are that Yoda's audio is way more quiet than the other characters, and you could make a compelling argument that's part of the satire, since Unfriended is deliberately filmed choppily to emulate what shit Skype was. And again, there's no damn exit button. But if you're curious, yeah, I'd check this one out. Good on ya.
Let's mix it.